you've got a master class on growing an agency? What agency have you had? Well, I ran a shop out of my basement for 3 years, and it was acquired for $100.
It was acquired for $100. Success.
Yes.
You're listening to The Angry Designer, where we cut through the industry bull to help frustrated graphic designers survive and thrive.
Johnny boy.
Yeah. What's up?
Well, check this out. So this is something interesting we've got today.
Yeah.
We've got somebody here went to Iceland.
Ooh.
Right? The land of fire and ice. That sounds really cool.
It does.
Scary.
Right? Yeah.
Because there's a lot of explosions and volcanoes going on over there.
Yes.
And of course, being, the fact that she knows that we are, avid whiskey drinkers, she brought back the only whiskey they have there. Okay, because apparently they're not really known for their whiskey. So we're looking at...
I don't think of Iceland when I think of whiskey.
Check this out. It's called Floki. It might be pronounced different.
Floki.
It's Icelandic single malt whiskey, and it's got a sherry cask finish.
Yeah.
So let's give this a go, because I think this is interesting. Boy, you really poured that one.
Salute.
Didn't you?
Yeah, we better like it, right?
Oh gosh. Oh no, that smells funny.
Oh.
Well, it's actually not bad.
It's not bad.
I can really taste that the wood and the sherry
You
cask.
certainly
It's
can.
interesting.
Yes.
That's probably the strongest, like oaky, woody flit, I have ever had in something like this. It burns though.
Oh,
It burns.
there it is.
But it's like this is Iceland's attempt at offering whiskey, right? And I mean, it looks good. The bottle looks good. Everything is great, and it smells good. So, good on them for creating something. You know, they're had we not known that they don't do whiskey, we would just think it's a regional thing. But they faked it pretty good.
Yeah,
they faked it pretty good.
Oh yes,
just want to throw that out there. But I think she said that they're more they do more vodkas and such out there.
Yes,
right?
that seems more
typical of the area.
Yes, exactly.
So before we get too deep into this episode, I just want to remind everybody that this week we are at Creative South. So, stay tuned. Check out our Instagram feed, because I think we're going to be trying to do some live feeds during the next couple days while we're there.
Nice.
We're going to be interviewing some really cool people that you've already heard us talk about, but now we're going to be seeing them all in person.
That's right.
Which is going to be really cool. Different interaction, different vibe. I really can't wait. I think it's really exciting.
I know. This is going to be
great.
Right?
And we're going to be, surrounded by a lot of big YouTubers and big Instagrammers and big people, big personalities who I can definitely say that these guys know what they're doing.
They do.
But do all of these online people know what they're doing?
Ooh.
I heard a really crazy stat, dude, that and it's crazy that it's saying that this generation, this Gen Z's generation, is getting their financial advice from TikTok. And that's a little bit of a worry, because it's like there's this whole rise of social media experts. But are they really experts?
Oh.
I remember seeing some of this shit on, like investors, social media, investors, and they're going on about they've got their cars, they got this, they're showing they're burning money because they're making so much of it.
You think this is my country club? No, this is my house.
Yeah, right. That's not a golf course. That's my backyard.
That's my backyard. Come on.
But then you see, a year too late, 2-3 years later, COVID's done, over with. Some of these guys are scam artists. They were taking people to the cleaners. They stole their money. There's this whole, it's a big deal right now, right? And this it's a little concerning, because I see this all the time in our space. And this is the part this is the part that I found worrisome, honestly, because it's like every week, if not, 2, 3, 4 times a week, I get all these experts that are coming out of the woodwork and emailing me and being like, do you want to all of a sudden take your agency to the next level? And it's like a 21-year-old kid who has magically found this fucking formula selling me how to improve. And this is I get this all the time.
No.
Dude. And I see it on social media. I get people hitting us up on Instagram, right? They hit us up at The Angry Designer, but then on their Z Factor site, I get people on LinkedIn, and it's just like...
On LinkedIn?
You're a twit. Like you haven't even been out of college for more than a couple of years, and you're already claiming that you are a fucking expert in this space. Dude,
wow.
it's unbelievable. And that is the worry. It's this idea of, this fake it until you make it mantra, right? And people are throwing it everywhere. And this is what it's creating. And this is the worry. So this is what we're here to talk about today, or at least listen to Moss bitch about today, is this whole idea. I mean, it's a culture that, again, I understand. But dude, like it's just getting pretty nasty. Like just everybody apparently is a fucking expert.
Everybody's an expert. Yes, exactly. An expert at making money.
Well,
they're not good.
That's a huge one. Yeah.
They're not good at anything, but they're an expert at making money. And
shit.
This I find fascinating. So really, people reach out to you and say to you that they're going to take your business to the next level.
It'll take my business to the next level.
Do they even
guarantee new lead? No, apparently they don't.
They don't know anything what you do.
No, they don't know. They don't know about our acquisition. They don't know if we're the fact that we're already a 7-figure agency, right? Like, I mean, what are you trying to do?
How much bigger are you talking here?
Why would we want to? And the funny thing is, what is your credential?
Yes.
I even asked somebody. I was like, wow. I'm like, $500 an hour coaching fee. I go, that's a pretty bold claim. Do you have some case studies to prove this? And his response, I have thousands of case studies I can send you. I'm like,
thousands.
Dude, you're not even thousands of days old. What? How are you? And this is a worry because again, I'm seeing it. Again, the YouTubers that the YouTubers, the Instagrammers, the social media guys that we talk to, we vet. We're not just pulling people's based on how many followers they have, right? We are vetting them. We are going through, we're watching them. But the concern is a lot of people get caught up on the hype.
Yes.
And I start seeing all these people with these giant followers and they're selling shit, right? And this goes for graphic design too. And that is the concern, right? This whole, everybody, you heard this fake it until you make it mantra years ago, right? I think it came out with the whole, remember, I think it was The Secret or The Law of Attraction, right? The book, The Secret. And the whole premise is, it's this law of attraction, right? And, what you put out, you get back.
Yes.
So if you fake it, you put out confidence. If you're not confident, you put confidence out there.
Right.
And after a while, confidence comes back to you. Will come back. You start gaining more confidence, and it's just like a win-win, right?
Yes.
So it started good.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, confidence and business acumen are two totally different things.
Right. Well, that's the problem. That's exactly it. People nowadays have taken it, social media, digital media, like they've taken it in an entirely different place. Now it's like the interpretation is completely problematic. It's not well intentioned anymore, right? It transcends, it basically makes people think or give an idea that, we're more successful than we actually are. I think that's where, again, they're taking the fake it part literal, right? And that's the problem. It's like they're trying to craft this professional image of themselves that just doesn't exist.
Right.
Okay. So it's like now they are actually faking it, where before it was, well-intentioned for personal growth. And I can appreciate that, right?
Yes.
But that's not where it is right now, right? And that's the worry. That's a huge worry in my opinion.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Well, and especially because, a little while ago we did this term is being embraced by a lot of big names.
Okay.
Right. And again, of course, people are just using it haphazardly. Right. And, and I appreciate that people are using it and the people who use it. But even a couple episodes ago when we did the Jessica Walsh, her mantra, one of her things was fake it until you make it.
Right.
And again, in this space, I don't know if you want to portray that. I understand it was well-intentioned, I'm sure. Right.
Yeah.
And how she meant it in her book. And I've heard other big people out there say it as well. But dude, I think it has more harm in this specific setting than it does good.
Yeah. But I think it's a matter of context there too. It's like if Jessica Walsh fakes something, she's got the shit behind her.
Yeah.
The talent behind her to back up whatever that is. And it's like what we talk about. Like, you say to a client, no, I don't know anything about that, but by the end by Monday, I will be a pro at it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that is kind of a fake it till you make it, sort of.
But you know what? You hit the key. You hit the nail on the head there.
Right.
Right. I tell the customers, I don't know it, but I will by Monday.
You're honest. That's the thing.
And that's, I think that's where, we'll definitely take this conversation, is probably like, I don't know, full circle to where we were. But the issue with, how people are using it now and how people are throwing this term around now, I mean, the consequences, right? It screws up so many people in different levels, right? Like for design on a whole, okay, for graphic design in the whole, when you start hearing this term fake it until you make it, right? It kind of misguides people on what success actually means in this space.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Like you got these twits online that are like telling you, be a better graphic designer by doing this and by doing that and listen to me and I'll help you and buy my course and this and that. Right. And again, a lot of their information is really bad.
Yeah.
But people follow because they're being told by these people with all these followers that this is the road to success.
Right.
Right. So that's, like the success in the space isn't actually measured by, your online followers and by, because I mean, for a lot of these, not the good people out there, but a lot of these people who are only out there to sell courses, dude, they're all just paid followers. They're not real followers.
Okay. I was just going to say, like, this seems kind of smacks like the fake it till you make it, that they have fake people behind them.
Exactly.
propping up their numbers.
They embrace that full, mentality, right? And that hurts our industry, right? It, again, there's superficial metrics, to kind of like help guide people on their graphic design development when really we should be focusing on, the principles, focusing on the problems we're solving, focusing on growing our skill set, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the idea that, they're putting out misinformation, right? They're putting out bad information and these people are taking it to heart. They're taking this bad information and they're tweaking it to use for their own use and their own way. And so all of a sudden you're starting to get all these very thinly veiled graphic designers who, have no idea or intentionally, are following someone that, is perceived to be somebody who's successful in the space, but really they're not. They're fakers.
Yes, they're very,
right. So that's like, it can hurt our industry.
Yes.
Okay. Now, and again, the impact on new designers, of course, is, misguided practices.
Big time.
Right. Which we talked about. Like, again, they're being told one thing, but really that's not how people have been doing it all this time. People rush to the market because they're seeing all this shit online. They're like, holy crap, I got to hurry up and finish. And they're just not ready to get to the market. They're not ready to put themselves out there yet, but they're seeing all this stuff online that makes them feel or think that they're ready for it, right?
Yes.
And then it starts making people overpromise and underdeliver because you've got now you read some dude's book that's going to tell you how to grow your agency, grow your followers, grow this, grow that, and you start telling customers one thing, but when you actually sit down and try to put it to practice, the shit doesn't work. No, so this is what I mean. Like, so it screws up graphic design in a whole. It screws up new designers.
Yes,
and it really fucks over experienced designers. People in our experience, people who've been doing this for 10, 20 years, because now all of a sudden it's like you have these twits who've only got a few years experience who are like, making it seem like I've got the secret.
I know how to do it. It's not that hard.
It's not that hard. Don't worry about these guys who've been doing it for 10 years, right? I can tell you what to do already.
Yeah.
So it's like, they're diluting the value of our experience.
Right.
We have more fucking experience in our little finger than some of these guys who are selling
twits.
these like scam books.
Yeah.
These twits. That's the word of the day.
I love the word twit. I'm going to use that more often now.
But do twit.
No, you're right. We have far more experience with this kind of stuff. These people do not. And so how can you claim to be an expert when you're really not?
Dude. If somebody, has somebody younger, has a very successful agency, right? Like Christy from Pink Pony.
Yeah.
She's half my age.
Yeah.
And she's already running a great agency. Good.
Yeah.
Good for her. And I would reach out and I'd be like, what are you doing? Good on you. She's got the energy. She's got the vibe and this and that. The talent, right?
Yeah.
But she's also not online, telling people how to grow their business from like, 7 figures to 12 figures.
Yes.
Right? Like she's putting out the information that is working for her.
For her.
Exactly. So, and again, this is where it's like you can learn from people like this, right?
Right.
Same time, she's not trying to sell a book that's going to turn people's agencies into 12-figure agencies these either. So I don't know, man. It really, it's frustrating. Okay. For me, it's frustrating because it's like it's spam, right?
Yeah.
But I can clearly see this shit online. Like, I'm like, you're fake. You don't know what you're talking about. You've got a master class on growing an agency. What agency have you had? Well, I ran a shop out of my basement for 3 years and it was acquired for $100.
It was acquired for $100. Success.
Yes. But seriously, dude, this is the frustrating part because again, I am very proud of what we've accomplished.
Right.
I'm very proud of people in our space who we support. Right. So when I see this kind of stuff, it worries me that people might buy into some of this shit. Right. It's a lot, this whole fake it idea, right? Like
big time.
Dude, it's like it takes so much energy to try to keep up a lie, you know, and even if you're not selling books, okay, even if you're not like trying to scam people out of it, embracing this idea of faking it and kind of over-representing yourself and trying to be something you're not, dude, it's hard.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's hard.
It's so hard.
It's harder to do that.
Dude, it's, you know what? It's easier to actually be yourself.
To just do your own thing. Yes.
So I remember, okay, so when we started Z Factor, right? So this goes back like almost 25 years ago. Yeah. When I started, I, embraced this fake it till you make it. I was like, no, I played out the part. I wear suits back then. Yeah, we actually wore suits to client meetings.
Wow.
At the very beginning, it was a very stupid thing to do. But again, it was to give this illusion of success. Yeah. I would, always play with the game that I had a big agency and this and that, right? And this was the first few years. And, I was hungry.
Yeah.
Okay, and even though I didn't fail on any projects I took on, and I didn't screw anybody over, right? Yeah. I did constantly. I was faking it. I was lying. On who we were, how big we were, and this and that. And although we did have big growth, right? I had a lot of contractors at the beginning because again, it was hard to hire on employees.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
It was so tiring to keep the story straight. Like seriously, dude, it was so much work. I remember coming back, and after my meeting, I'd go in the car and I'd write down all the lies I fucking told in the meeting. So when I went back, dude, this is serious shit.
Oh, wow.
And honestly, it got to the point where I was so anxiety filled that I was like, fuck it, I am not going to do this anymore, right? And again, I never got caught, I never got burned, and I never fucked over anybody. But I remember trying to build this fake it.
Yeah.
And in the end, it wasn't worth it. So in the end, I was just like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I am going to represent ourselves the way we are.
Yeah.
If anybody, okay, I always, and again, and we talked about this. We had an episode on making yourself look bigger than you actually are.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
And I did that. We always did that. I made sure our brand was bigger. The way we spoke was always in the third party. The way I spoke about my team was always bigger.
Yes.
But if people asked, I never lied about the team. I said, I have 3 employees and I have a network of contractors that we contract out and we act as a, and you know what, customers, they were cool with it.
They're all right with that.
They didn't even fucking blink.
Yes.
And it was just like, like honestly, it was, and then that's when shit really started happening for us because it was this giant lift. I mean, it was far more rewarding to be authentic than it was to actually try to live this fake it until you make it bullshit. So it's like, I did embrace that, the wrong side of that for a minute.
Right.
And then when I realized, it was like, screw it, I'm not doing this anymore, right? And even this whole notion about, I tell customers all the time, right? No, I have no experience on this, but come Monday,
I will know.
I'll be a fucking pro on it, right? And I tell customers that.
Yes.
And they're okay with that too, because they come to us because, we're experts at what we do, at solving problems, this, that. And so it's like they would much rather have us learn how to do something and pay us to do it versus they to do it themselves.
Yes. What's that saying? It's kind of like over promise and under deliver or something. No?
Yeah, that's. I mean, that is definitely what we.
Yeah, because you're saying like
under promise and over over promise, under deliver. I think we talked about that in our episode of how to lose customers.
I think we did. Stupid brain. No, but you're telling them, look, I don't know this right now, but I will be an expert. And I think, like you said, in your experience, that is honesty is far better policy than this kind of thing. Because if you went into that meeting and said, "Oh, I know all this. I'll figure it out when I get there."
Yeah. And you don't.
And you didn't do any research.
And that's the worry. Because if people do take this fake it until you make it mantra and actually, use it as part of their whole, how they become successful, you're right. They're going to drop the ball. And we have, over the years, we've had so many people come back to us and be like, yeah, I signed up with this company and they promised us this. They sucked. Yeah. Can you help? And we fixed everything. Right? Like we were fixers for quite a while, right? Which was
yeah. That's kind of a great spot to be from. Like, where you're kind of like, hey, you know what? I'm the sexy librarian. I got my hair up, my glasses on, but if you need me, I'm right over here, kind of thing. That's the agency.
That's a weird analogy, but okay. He's trying to picture Sean with his beard up on his head and his glasses down at the end of his nose.
When I shake it out and take my glasses off, oh boy, it was me all along.
It's what it is. It's there's what else I find about a lot of these people, and I can say this for myself too. Like, I believe that when I embrace that fake it, that whole mentality, right? Honestly, I think I was suffering from like an inferiority complex.
And I'm sure that's common with a lot of people.
Absolutely it is, right? And I think that's where it was like, and not only that, and so I'd fake it, so I would try to, overshadow this, but then at the same time, I was kind of resentful towards people who also, who were successful. I remember when I was like, I talked to Christo. I had this conversation with Christo once, and I told him, and it was funny, right? Because it was a Zoom call, and I was honest with him. I said, for the longest time, I resented you because I was so fucking jealous of you. And when I said I resented you, he was like, "What?"
He's like, "What the hell?
Fuck?
Where's this going?"
Because I was jealous. I'm like, you're doing such an amazing job, and I'm really happy for you. He said, "But I wish I was like you." And so it was just, and then of course we laughed about it and we talked it through, right? But it's true. There's and I mean, again, while I was able to get over it early on because I realized it's not who I wanted to be, and it was far more rewarding to be yourself, and do it your own way, right or wrong. I realized that the challenges were like they fuck you up big time, dude.
It totally does, and you're kind of you're operating out of that false whatever. You're not being yourself. But it's because you don't know how at the beginning, you don't know how this stuff works kind of thing. So I could see how somebody would come along with a book or a teaching kind of some sort of fucking and stupid plan and prey on somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. Right.
And, you're right. The unfortunate part is they could probably find that information themselves.
Exactly. Just with a little bit of research. But it's the easy route. And I think that's what a lot of people want to do now.
It's like that quick route to success.
Yes.
There you go. And that's exactly it. So there's other examples though. I keep harping on this because these guys are constantly like coming to me promising me the world, right? But there's other examples that I've been caught in, right? Like this fake it till you make it idea, right? Portfolio misrepresentation. Right? And even outright plagiarism. And you see this on places like Fiverr and 100 Design, all that shit, right? Like these online people, these online freelancers, right? All the other online platforms and these people on Dribble, I'm seeing it, right? These people are misrepresenting themselves. Yeah. They're putting shit up that isn't even them. They're stealing it from other places. And so then, you're like, wow, well, I like this look. Let me hire you for a specific project. Yeah. They deliver you shit.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, well,
because it's not even them to begin with.
Exactly.
Well, and that's because we did that. I found an illustrator on one of these platforms. I was like, wow, did you do these? Yes, these are all mine. Cool. I need this look. Can you do it for me? Dude, I ended up doing the whole fucking thing myself in the end because he kept, and I'm like, well, can you make this change? No, I'm sorry, I can't. And it was because he was using like templates and this and that, and he was looking pieces. Dude, I was so frustrated, like honestly. So that's a bad example.
Oh, shit.
I know, of this whole fake it until you make it bullshit. Wow. And I'm seeing that a lot. So when you guys are on Dribble and shit, right, on a regular basis, don't be intimidated by anything that you see on there because there's a really good chance a lot of that stuff is fake. It's not real. I'm not saying all of it by any means. Yeah. But there is a lot of this fake it until you make it mentality put on these online portfolio sites that it's like you don't know what's real and what's fake anymore, right? And again, that's where you have to have that honest conversation with the designer to make sure that you don't ask for those references and shit.
Yeah.
We've got other examples of this whole over-promising and under-delivering, just like you said, right? Like literally, people are trying to oversell their abilities just to win the job.
Yeah.
But then when they win it, they can't do it because they don't have the experience to back that shit up. Yeah. So it's easy to try to sell somebody if you embrace this fake it until you make it idea and think, well, all these designers told me to do it, and so I can do it. I'm sure I can do it. Well, guess what? It's a lot harder than just cranking out an afternoon or two of YouTube videos to become an expert on it. Like it's not that easy.
No.
And what happens? Like the customer ends up getting jaded in the end. They get screwed.
Yep.
The freelancer then just kind of ghosts them, goes on to the next victim. And this is just a horrible cycle, right? It's, that's the problem with this digital world that we have now, is because it's so easy to fake it on social, to fake it on Dribble, to fake it on Behance, Fiverr, blah, blah, blah. Everywhere you go, fuck, even on your websites, and make yourself, present yourself as something that you're not. So it kind of worries me. It creates this whole world of phonies.
Yes.
And that, I think, is the part that worries me the most.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who I'm talking to anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's like that, I forget what the name of the pizza place is, but Alan Peters Pizza with the fire around it. You remember? I've seen that logo.
Isn't it Wildfire
or something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
How many times have you seen that logo?
Dude, I feel so bad.
And I was like, when we interviewed him, I'm like, oh my God, this is the guy that really did this.
He created the first.
He actually did the real one.
We've seen it. You're right.
We've seen that a bunch of times. And that's the kind of thing where I see what you're saying. Somebody sees that on Fiverr and it's like, hey, that's really good. Because that was done by a fucking hardcore professional, right?
Exactly right.
You end up having to come up with an idea that's similar to that, but you don't have what
they did. They plagiarized it. They took the idea of the pizza slice and the fire, and they changed the font and the name on the bottom. Hey, it's mine. I created it. Jeez,
No.
So there is, so in all fairness, there is another side to the fake it till you make it, and in all fairness, it does still serve a place. I feel it serves a place for personal development. Okay, so I'm being a little hard on the phonies, but the term itself internally, because it always started as like a personal self-empowerment thing, and I think in that sense it still can exist, right?
Yes.
Like, if you want to, I don't know, grow your professional experience, like you said, becoming a weekend professional, right? I tell my customers, I can do this. I'll find out everything you need to by Monday. Hang tight, right? As a figure of speech, of course.
Yes.
But it's like, I'm telling them, give me a couple days. I'll learn everything about this so you don't have to.
Yes.
And number one, it expands what I'm able to offer because it's pushing me. So it's like I'm confident in that sense that I can take on the task based on my experiences
in the past.
Exactly. Not based on the fact that I have this overblown self-interpretation of what I can do because my mom told me I'm special. Okay? Like, guys, you're not. Okay?
Yes.
Newsflash. You're not special.
You're not special, no.
Okay? But I mean, at least embracing this kind of idea does help you, expand your capabilities.
Yes.
As long as you are self-aware of what you're capable of.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
Networking. Okay, networking and like self-promotion. If you want to push yourself, like fake it till you make it. Let's say you're uncomfortable, okay, with going to a networking event. I was guilty of this, right? I believe it or not. Although I'm like, I talk a lot. When I get to a networking event, I'm a pretty chill guy. I'm the one who stands on the outside and I just kind of like, I circle the group. I'll go in, I'll come back out, right? But I had to put on that whole fake it idea that it's like, no, I can do this, man. I'm confident. I can do this. And it pushes you out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
So again, that's okay, right? Because again, this is me and it's helping me. This, fake your uncomfortableness, pretend that you're confident, go up, ask for that girl's phone number. We've separated from business now to personal. But I mean, the reality is it's like pushing yourself out of that comfort zone.
Right.
Okay. So again, but personally, not selling that, okay? Personally doing that, right? And then even in leadership roles, I think in some ways it's okay to fake it in the sense of there was this amazing, so although I'm not a big Trekkie guy, I'm not a Star Trek guy, right? I'm really not, but I did watch it. I
quit.
And then there was... There was this episode where it was like they were all on the bridge, and it's like they had two choices. They came to a fork in the road. If they went the wrong way, one would just imminent death.
Yep.
The whole place
Done.
would blow up.
Yep.
They went the other way, they were safe.
Yep.
And they're like, Picard, but we don't know which one are we going to do. Which way do we go? And he looks at both and he goes, go that way.
Oh.
They go and
they
they're
lived.
like, They lived.
Yeah.
And then later on, I guess he was approached and he's like, Picard, like, how did you know? And he's like, I didn't. He goes, but people needed a leader in that place. And sometimes, your job as a leader is to give direction, right or wrong. You just have to make that decision.
Exactly.
Right. And that's what I mean by in leadership roles. Sometimes, although, you may not have all the answers, okay, you might have to be the one to step up and try to, steer the ship.
Yeah.
Right. And I think in that sense, don't try to, you misrepresent yourself.
No.
Don't be I'm a creative director when you're not even a junior graphic designer yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, stand up to it, take that leadership role, pull up your pants and help the team make calls and head to a direction.
Yes.
So in those instances, and I'm sure there's a couple other good ones that it could work in that sense. It's just, I think the key is you can't falsely misrepresent yourself.
No.
Right. And like in order to, kind of fool people.
Yes.
In that case and become a phony. Right.
Yeah.
So for yourself, it's one thing, but I guess I don't know. Am I contradicting myself here?
No. I think you're absolutely right. I would argue like back to your point of the social aspect. That is a difficult situation, but it's one of my favorite things. It's a soft skill, right? Which is what we have, like your Illustrator example. The guy's just working off templates. That's just a surface level understanding of what he has to do.
Yep.
You and I would find a deeper way to go in and do what it is.
You're right.
Your requests. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
Absolutely, you're right.
And there's a confidence behind that to say, and I do this almost on a daily basis. Like, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
But I'm going to figure out how to do this. But it's research and it's doing your diligence and it's sitting there and kind of like, I remember an old job I used to do. I did this. I did this. This will work here for that. And it's like,
You know what? I think it comes down to not being scared to create a culture of authenticity.
Right.
Being able to say, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'll figure it out.
Yes.
I don't have the answers,
yes,
but leave it to me and I'll figure it out. I think it's that sense of humility, that honesty, right? To put it forward is much more appreciated because people will know that they can count on you to figure it out.
Exactly.
Many times I take stuff on and I tell customers, I don't have that answer for you, but leave it to me. I'll figure it out. Because oftentimes customers just want somebody they can rely on.
It's Captain Picard.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going to the left.
I'm going to and that's what they want,
That's
right?
exactly what they want.
Because again, you know what? Then what it's doing is this whole sense of authenticity. It focuses on real growth, not fake growth.
Yes.
Let's face it. This space, this industry, this is not a sprint.
No.
Okay. No. This isn't you're in and you're out and that's it. That's what a lot of the shit I'm seeing online right now is.
Right.
But the real thing, I always tell everybody, it's a journey. Graphic design is a journey and it's a lifelong journey. Some of the best designers were designing for 40, 50, 60 years until the day they die.
Exactly.
Right. Like it is. And they always focused on growth. Massimo Vignelli was growing until the day he died. Paul Rand was continually designing and creating new shit and it's funny because you read back to a lot of them and how they talk about the importance of evolving with computers and technology and it's just like, dude, you have no idea like how fucking crazy shit has gone. But I mean, again, I think people need to focus on real skill development and being ready to go the distance, not worrying about these short sprints in between because these sprints it's what's fucking everybody over. They're looking for shortcuts and I don't think that there is a shortcut in this space.
No, I don't think so either.
No,
absolutely
dude.
not. You can't. You got to log the hours in and you've got to, you got to take every job that you can, but not that's way beyond you. You know what I mean? Like you have to be realistic with your abilities. I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know what? Exactly. When we grew, as Z Factor grew, we would take on work that we were capable of doing.
Exactly.
Okay. Actually, purely selfishly, I was taking on work that I wanted to learn how to do.
Yes.
And that's the funny thing. I was interested in interior design.
Yeah.
So I would offer to do their, the human experience of their lobby.
Yeah.
You know, what their lobby would look, what their desks would look like, where the logo should be, you know, what the customer experience would be when they walked into the place.
Yeah.
I wasn't, like claiming that I could also create, I don't know, do the architecture for the place. That was way out of my realm.
Yes.
Would have loved to have tried, but I knew that was out. But I knew what I was able to tell them I could do. I knew without a doubt I could deliver based on everything to that point.
Right.
Same with multimedia, same with web. We were not, a web company by any means. We were programmers when we started delivering web, but we knew what the front end experience needed to be.
Yep.
We just had to find the people who could make the back end experience work.
Exactly.
So it's being self-aware.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where the authenticity comes from. Right. If you try to sell what you're not and try to be what you're not being authentic.
Yes.
And if you're not being authentic, I think authenticity is the word of 2024.
I think it should be.
Holy shit.
Absolutely. And the thing that I think is the most important about it, and you and I share this, it's the love for the game.
Oh, fuck. No
Do you know
kidding.
what I mean?
This isn't a money game.
It's not. If you're doing this to get rich, or you're cutting corners, or you want to just go right straight to the top, you don't want to fuck around with 3 people at an agency, it's the love of the game. I think because you don't know much about interior design, but you love it, and you love it so much that you're willing to find out how to do this kind of thing.
And that's it.
Yes, like that's the key to it.
100%, dude. And I think
then like the posers and the fakers, they just don't have that. They're looking at. I think a lot of people get into graphic design because they think it's easy.
Quick buck, easy.
I can do
then
this.
Then they figure out how to scale it.
Exactly.
And how to, there's all this. Yeah, I agree,
overbill,
dude.
And it's like, this took me 10 minutes to do. I'm going to charge for a half a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, dude. No. And that 10 minutes is because they stole Alan Peters,
because they took his pizza
Fireside logo
exactly.
and then slapped a new name on it.
10 minutes to pick a new font. Yeah.
Good work, buddy.
That's hard. Oh yeah.
You're right. I think you're right. I think, if you're passionate about this, you need to focus on being like a lifelong learner.
Do it legit.
And constantly evolve as trends do, as technology does, as, like we see, this space has changed so much. I was having a great conversation with somebody today about it. And in our 25 years, we had 5 massive pivotal changes in the industry. We went from print to digital, then from digital to the offshore movement, how to make that work. And then from that to the crowdsourcing movement. And then now from that to AI, and then, social media, social media to AI. Yeah. Like there has been so many giant pivotal moments that a lot of places shut down. It's just like, no, I'm way too, like I love this space way the fuck too much to back the hell out. Yeah. So forget it. No. Yeah. So you know what? Changing the focus, be authentic.
Yes.
And this whole fake it until you make it, I wouldn't proudly follow this. I wouldn't proudly preach it or repeat it, to be honest, because I think, while it may have started out as something that was great, I think it's gone downhill.
I think it has. I think it's like anything. It's been misused by people.
Yeah. 100%. Right.
Like 100%. I said, Jessica Walsh.
And I know what she meant.
Yeah.
Right?
I know exactly what she meant too.
Fake it if you don't know. But it's like, I don't think she was telling people to misrepresent themselves.
No, she's not. And she's also saying I have a wealth of information in my brain that I can draw on.
Yeah.
In order to kind of put this puzzle together without the pieces.
Right. And that's why she is involved in so many different unique little subsets, right?
Yeah, because she's probably the same as you, like very passionate about what she does. And it's just like, I'm going to figure out how to do this.
I think if you see some of these people out there that almost seem like they're too good to be true, okay, some of these fakers, okay, navigating this shit, honestly, check their credentials.
Yes.
Check out their background, or, in situations like this, make sure, they're not trying to oversimplify some sort of solution. that they're trying to sell you, right? And fucking use your own head. Critical thinking is one of the strongest tools I think a graphic designer, any designer needs to possess in order to make the right decisions to solve problems, right? So, do that, stay updated, use the web, check these people out for yourself, and just don't buy into anybody who claims to have like 100,000 followers and is promising you the world, because honestly, they're just going to leave you the second that they have what they want from you.
They're going to get your money for their book, and then you're going to read it and you're going to be like, the fuck? This is a waste of money.
I felt so bad. I watched a video actually yesterday on YouTube from Jazza. I don't know if Jazz is an awesome illustrator, and he's also a graphic designer, and he's a very famous YouTuber. And I guess he got a new project. He's creating a book, and it was a drawing book based on Anyway, needless to say, his whole YouTube post was how he went online, he found this book, and he genuinely bought it. Okay, to because he wanted to get better at what he's doing, so he bought this book. He spent the $100. Okay, and it was like a 3-book series. And when he got it, the whole fucking thing was just an AI generated book of just people's images. There was no artists on there. There was no artist, accreditation on it. Nothing. And he was just like I totally got had. Don't do this to yourself. And it's the same thing. Like he said that the presentation was good, of the website, the sales was good, like the whole sales pitch. But in the end, it was just completely fake. It was total phony. Yeah. So I mean, it's just heartbreaking, dude.
That's sad.
I know.
And $100 too.
$100, and that's it. $100, $100 USD.
It's get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
That stinks. Yeah. That's very sad.
So with that being said, don't be fake. All right.
Be real.
Don't be a phony.
Yeah.
Drop that fake until you make it mentality, and shoot for the whole authenticity. Start using that. Start telling customers, I'm going to be authentic with you. I don't know how to do it, but I'll find the answer for you. I will do it. If you're not happy in the end, you don't have to pay me for it. I used to do that. And I told customers that. I was like, you know what? I'll invest up front. If you don't like it, we'll walk away. I'll tear up that contract. We both go our separate ways. Not once did anybody do that. But let me tell you, how many people in the end were like, I like your confidence. Let's do it.
Yes.
Didn't have the fucking answer. But I told them that I would do it for them. And again, it always worked. And it grew. Exactly. It was just, that was the secret to our success.
Yeah, totally.
Well, one of many, apparently.
But that's good. It's exactly like you said, is the customer has other things to do. They are thinking big picture, their product or whatever. But they want somebody who's in the marketing role or the design role that's confident and knows exactly what they're doing.
Agreed. 100%.
But knows what they're doing behind that kind of thing. And I'm sure that you probably gave off that vibe when you were starting. You know what I mean? Like
I think the vibe was they were scared because I was so in your face. I was like, pow, 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 pow.
I'll do it.
Just to say yes.
But that's infectious
I think I was pretty intense. I'm not gonna lie, like for the right reasons, of course. But I remember some of the people's faces, and they'd all be taken back like, "Whoa, are you on drugs?
This guy's the real deal."
Oh God. All right, so listen, everybody, please. You know what? If you're in the area, if you can make Creative South, please come say hi. We've got swag that we'll be testing out. Want to get some feedback on? We're giving away everything from stickers to buttons to T-shirts to hugs and hats. Shit, just stop by and say hi, and stay tuned because I think we're going to be trying to do some live feeds on whether it's YouTube or Instagram or both. But stay tuned. I'm really looking forward to this event. So,
yes, this is going to be good, man.
I hope so. Anyway, if not, if at the worst, we're going to be hanging out with some of the coolest fucking people in the industry. Absorbing this energy, this power. We're just this is the best part of this. And for at the absolute very worst, that's what we're going to be doing.
Exactly.
And that sounds pretty fucking good to me.
That sounds awesome.
Right?
No fakers.
No fakers. Can't fake this shit. Even if I tried, it ain't going to work. Hit us up on our Instagram. Say hi. Give us a message. Let us know what you think about this. And check us out on YouTube. We're there as well. And we're having fun with that. So, I think that's it.
Yeah, good job. It's too bad about the whiskey, but
Yeah, guys. Iceland is known for a lot of really cool things, but they're still a little bit behind the whiskey.
Yeah, they're going to continue to fake it.
Continue to fake it. Continue to fake it. My name is Massimo.
My name is Sean.
Stay creative.
And stay angry.